Hey, good afternoon, everybody. So, let's see, it's Friday afternoon, and we are back in the M5, and we are headed home from Passport BMW, where we bought this, and we got the initial service done. They called it the 1,200-mile service. We got it done at 1,900 and some miles. We're at 1,914 today. So, that's what happens when you own a lot of cars and you work a full-time job. It's tough to get everything done. So, as Mr. Retirement, today's 6 weeks, by the way. 6 weeks ago today, I closed on the sale of the company. So, anyway, on the way home, I just wanted to answer a question that a number of you have asked over the last maybe year even, but certainly in recent few weeks, people have asked it more and more. And that is, why am I renting a couple of garages instead of building a big one on my own property? And so the answer is kind of multi-part. One is just cost. So if you're stupid enough to own 12 or 13, maybe someday 14 cars in a work truck or a tow truck, and a couple of trailers maybe, the size of the facility that would need to be constructed to house even just the 12, 13, 14 cars is pretty big. It's bigger than most houses, I think. Even if you use lifts, keep everything stacked double, it's a facility that's large enough that we live on 6 acres, and my home is on 6 acres. So there's plenty of ground. But the question is, do you want to look at that big garage every day, or do you want to look at, a couple acre pasture and the deer and the birds and everything else that surround that, or do you want to look out onto a 6-bay garage? And so I know some of you are like, hell yeah, I want to look at the garage. That doesn't work in my family. Even I would probably prefer not to look out and see that, but my wife made it very clear she preferred to keep that away from the property, and I don't think my kids would be too happy with it. So we rent. The cost, though, so we pay $3,100 a month for both garages. And so across the year, it was at $36,000 a year to lease those garages. To build a garage, probably be close to 150 or 200 grand to do it right, insulated, heated, full HVAC, the power I need. And so that's a lot of years. Even at 36 grand, you're talking 5, 6, maybe 7 years by the time you pay permits and the tax increases. And I don't know where I'm going to be in 6 or 7 years. So for now, we rent. That may not always be the case, but for now we rent. We're a year and 3 months into this experiment. Remember, this channel started essentially in November of 2017, and it's gone places I haven't imagined it going. We have a larger audience than I thought I'd ever have. We got about 15,000 subscribers out there, but I don't know where this is going, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to be a drag racer. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be a road racer. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep growing the collection. Maybe forever. But keep the money in the bank earning interest. I don't need to spend it all right now. And so that's a big reason. So for the family, for the appearance around the house, for keeping the wife happy, for the money. And then there's just logistic advantages. It's nice not to get deliveries at the house. So like if the Cobra Jet had been delivered at the house, that guy had a 55-foot trailer on his tractor. So to get that into my house, into my yard, it's not worth the effort. I've got where I rent, I've got a body shop, 100, 200 yards away, I've got a pretty high-skilled auto mechanic who deals with cars like we have. 100 yards away, I've got a tent person 50 yards away. So this is kind of an automotive complex that we're in. So one of the advantages to having it on your property would be to be close to it. But my house is literally a 5-7 minute drive from the garages. So the proximity thing, really, there's no value in putting it on my property. So those are the reasons: the cost, keeping the wife happy, the kids happy, what I see out my window, the logistics of keeping that all away. Those are all just those factor in. Those are the ingredients of the stew that ends up, well, let's do it. Let's release. Let's keep it away from the house. So that's kind of it right now. That's it. Thanks. Hey everybody. Haven't done Cool Dave in a while, so we'll do Cool Dave today. So it's still Friday afternoon, back from the BMW dealer, and just wanted to add one thing to my answer about why rent rather than build my garage. So you can hear my clock going off. Anyway, another reason is longevity. So my daughter is a sophomore this year, and she's my youngest. Sean graduates in a couple months, and then Lauren graduates in 2 years. And I can pretty much guarantee you I won't be a legal resident of Maryland the month after Lauren graduates. We're looking to buy a house maybe in Jackson Hole or Charlotte, South Carolina. So we'll see. But the whole point of that story is that in 2 years, there's a good chance a lot of my time won't be spent here. And so to spend that kind of money, that 150, 200 grand on a garage, and then have it be something I'll abandon in 2 years or 3 years, just doesn't make sense. So that was that other piece that I hadn't talked about. I forgot when I answered the question a minute ago. To you guys, it was 30 seconds ago, but to me, it was an hour ago. So I just want to add that. So one other subject matter, and then we'll get off and make this a shorter video. I wore you out last night. I didn't really mean to, but so the other subject I just want to bring up is staying on track. Yesterday, if you didn't watch yesterday's, you're gonna be a little bit behind the 8 ball. But yesterday at the end of the video, we talked about what's your number, how much money do you need to live every year, and how much money do you need in the bank in an investment account earning something like 6% a year, where the interest pays for your lifestyle. And if you know those numbers, you can start developing a path and a plan. And it may be a 20-year plan, it may be a 30-year plan. It took me 33 years from graduating from college. Honestly, when I was 22 and graduated from college, I thought I was going to be here at 45. And it took me till I was 54, almost 55. So, almost 10 years beyond my goal from when I was 22. I'm glad to be here, don't get me wrong, but it's almost 10 years beyond what I thought it was going to be, because I didn't stick to a plan. And so, my wife, when we had coffee this morning, said, Dave, you're kind of an idiot. Most people can't even see a track or know they're supposed to be one, much less stay on one. So, yesterday we talked about the end goal, kind of where are you now and where do you want to be? What's your position where you can be like me, where you have money in the bank and it's paying for your lifestyle and you kind of get to do what you want during the day. So that's the track, right? How do you get from here to there? What's your plan? But even if you have the plan, the other thing I want to talk to you about, because some of you I've met with and some of you I've talked to over the phone or over text and things, that even though you have a track, you tend to jump off of it. And if you go back on my channel, I have a playlist of my life story, and then I have some business advice, and I'll try to put the business advice on the playlist as well. I hadn't thought of that till just now. But one of the things that is very dangerous to us are what we call the shiny penny syndrome, or the shiny object syndrome, or the other, the grass is greener on the other side of the fence syndrome, or there's just a number of ways where you can harpoon yourself and get yourself off track, or let life take you off track. And those are very dangerous things. They need to be contemplated and thought through. So maybe you think you have a better job, so you jump to it. Maybe you think you have a better career, so you jump to it. Or maybe someone shows up in your life and you want to emulate them, so you change everything. And the thing I would ask you to consider is, before you make a change, whether you change jobs, careers, degrees, companies. Really think about the cost to that. And if you know where you're headed, if you know your numbers, and you have a path towards it, the thing I would ask you to really consider is if you make this jump, if you make this change, does it improve your chances of getting to that goal? Does it shorten the time window to get to your goal? Or is it something that you're called to do, you're compelled to do, and you're going to love to do, and you're willing to pay the price of time to achieve it? So, my buddy, my number 2 was, is contemplating, he's got his number, he's got his plan, and he's thinking about buying a new home, and he said, Dave, if I buy this new home, it probably adds a year or 2 to my number. So instead of 3 or 4 years, it's probably gonna be more like 5 or 6 to him. And he says, I'm willing to pay those 2 years debt to go in and buy my dream house today. I said, that's fantastic. That's what this tool does. And so I just want to be careful of if you're in a job and somebody says, well, I have a better job for you, just make sure that's true. And just make sure you understand what that does to your longer term plan. My not doing that, my inability to hear this or do this cost me 9 or 10 years. I made some changes. It took me longer to decide to start my own company than it probably should have. It took me 8 years to make that call. And then I did a bunch of shiny penny chasing the first few years of DHA, I think, slowing us down. So I think I'm going to stop there. So just try to understand this this concept of know your number, know how you're going to achieve it, and then evaluate any new plan or new idea that you have or is brought to you against that plan. And does it improve your chance of attaining your dream? Does it shorten the timeline that will be required to achieve it? Or does it just truly scratch that itch, that emotional call that you've been feeling, and you understand it will lengthen your track to your dream job or your dream situation, your retirement situation, yet you know exactly how far it'll extend it, and you are willing to pay that price. So I guess there's a theme to all my life videos and business videos, and that's, think about things, plan things, put them on paper, stop wandering in the wilderness, do the hard work of thinking through things and planning things and evaluating change before you jump to the change. I didn't do it. It cost me 9 or 10 years. So, I guess it's do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. You guys have been reacting really well to these videos lately. I really appreciate that. A lot of great comments, a lot of great questions. Why lease versus build came from you guys. And then the questions and comments you guys are giving me on these sort of more life-oriented, career-oriented, money-oriented questions. Really, this conversation comes from you. So please keep it up. And guys, that's it. Have a great Friday afternoon. Have a great Friday night. Have a great weekend if you're watching this later. And ask me questions. Give me ideas of what you'd like to see. A lot of you out there are from the Southern Maryland area. If you want to see a certain road in the video, if you want to see a certain place in the video, toss me some ideas and I'll see if I can get around to do that. The weather is back to terrible. You can see it's light outside, but it's back to snow, sleet, and rain, and it's going to be that way the rest of today, all night, and all day tomorrow. So, we're not going to be doing too much outside in the cars. So that's it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hope this helps you a little bit, and talk to you later. Bye.